All right, I can give you a couple injuries here. Guys that won't practice today: Sky Moore, Trey Smith is sick. Mike Edwards still on the protocol. Pacheco, his toe, but getting better, and Joe Tooney with the pec strain. So look forward to the challenge of playing the Ravens. Heck of a football team, very well coached. I mean, John does a phenomenal job there as the head football coach, and he knows the whole game. He was a great special teams coach, great secondary coach, and he's been a great head coach. And very proud of him for all that he's done and accomplished. And then Mike working with the defense. He's not only done it now in the NFL, but he did it at a Division I school in Michigan. Did a great job there, and came back to the Ravens and has really put together a good defense with a heck of a scheme. And Todd's done the same thing offensively. They're playing well. Their quarterback is a spectacular player and playing well. So as is the other guys, but. It obviously starts with him. So, anyways, with that, time's yours.
Andy, just with the ongoing connection between practice, is there a way for you to just describe with perspective what that has meant to this whole era?
Sure. They've got a special chemistry. I experienced it with Brett and Sharp. I mean, they were phenomenal together, and then I experienced it with T.O. and Donovan, and they were great together. And Deshaun Jackson stepped in, and they had a chemistry there with Jeremy, and then come here, and these guys developed this chemistry. So I've been fortunate to be around that. It's hard to explain why and how these guys connect like that, but they do. And they both have great feel for the game, and then they have a great feel for what the other one sees and is going to do in a very short time span. So,
and just as a baseline of everything else you're able to do, I mean, again, is there any way to summarize how that frees up everything else you're facing that part of the operation?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's part of the equation, obviously, a big part of it, and has been. And so it allows you to do other things and play off of that. But there's some other ingredients that have to take place too to make it all work.
Andy, curious what you thought about Shamari Connor after he had to go in the game, and also Allegretti as well.
Yeah, so I thought Shamari did a nice job in there. That encompasses calls and playing for a young guy to go in and be able to communicate back there is not the easiest thing, and he did it well. I think it helped that he's been able to go in and nickel situations, dime situations. So it's not the first time he was in the game, but it was for that extended period of time, and I thought he did a nice job. Physical, good tackler, did well in the coverage game. Allegretti is a guy that has started for us a number of games, and all the guys look at him like he's a starter. So everybody's got confidence that he can come in and do a nice job. Tough kid. And not everything's the most or the prettiest thing that you've seen, but he's going to fight you right to the end, and he's smart. So it's a good combination.
Andy, you've faced plenty of great defenses, but this will be the number one scoring defense in the NFL with the Ravens. Just how complete is this defense you're about to face?
Yeah, they do a great job. Like I said, Mike, it's the scheme in which he's added his touch to with the group there, and so they've got multiple fronts, multiple coverages. they execute them well. A lot of the teams that try to do a lot don't do it as well as this group does. So not only are the players listening, but they're being taught the right things, and they're able to go out and perform at a high level.
And at what point do you turn your attention to the next game? I guess it's real simple. You already knew going to play the Ravens, or you watching the Ravens stuff on the flight home? At what point did your attention?
Yeah, once I got back, I went in and started then. Yeah.
There's a situation where you're in the office most of the night.
I stayed there. It was slippery out there.
A lot was made last week of finally going on the road for the playoffs. Now having done that, is there a benefit to that, not going back on the road?
Yeah, I didn't think much of the, going on the road and playing would be, that much different, because we do it during the season, and you've had some crowds. Green Bay was a wild crowd, loud, packed up there, and other places, that we've gone. So I didn't look at it. And then you add on top of that, that's a great environment up there to play a game in. So even though they're against you, it's really, that's football right there. And they love their team, and they're passionate, very similar to coming in here to Arrowhead. So it's a great environment, and that's why I've tried to look at that.
Talking about road games, Andy, the players really embrace, that opposition role. Just how much did it give you any satisfaction seeing them at the end of the game, just kind of loving out themselves and loving being the quote unquote bad guys?
You're saying us,
Yeah.
being the bad guys. Listen, I thought the guys stuck together, and I would say this at home and away, but again, you're on the road, and that is part of it. But the guys, they stuck together through the ups and the downs of the game, which every game presents, and they kept battling and kept hope. And I mentioned after the game that I thought that was the thing that jumped out at me the most. Not that I didn't think they would do it, but just at the level that they did it, supporting each other was. And nobody flinched, blinked, and just kept battling.
Andy,
Coach,
what would you say is the reason your running attack has improved considerably in the postseason these past few games?
Yeah, well, listen, I thought we did okay during the year with opportunities there, and but I would tell you that Andy Heck does a heck of a job with. No pun intended, but he does a heck of a job with with designing the runs, and the guys execute them. Obviously, Pacheco back healthy. You've got a nice rotation in there that you can go to, and the guys, as well as Pacheco's doing, Clyde, when he has an opportunity, jumps in and does a nice job also. So, and then. The offensive line takes a lot of pride in doing what they do, and they know it starts with them. And I think they've been very accurate with their blocking assignments.
Coach, speaking with a couple of the veteran guys, they talked about the younger players and how they pretty much only know the AFC Championship game and some of them Super Bowl, like the successes and being here. Talk about how beneficial it was for them to go through those months this season.
It grows you, right? As you'd say. So, and there's a lot of parity in this league. You better figure that out early. That it's not an easy ride. You got to be able to battle through things, and I can tell the guys, the veterans can tell the guys, but the young guys have to experience that. So, but I thought they handled it well. They kept pushing forward, kind of focused on the job at hand, and that was getting better in some cases, just becoming better at their game.
We got 4 more. We're going to work the room. Go ahead, Todd.
Kind of piggybacking off that, as competitive as Pat is, I'm sure there were times he was frustrated with the way things were going and disappointed. We saw it boil over time. What was your messaging to him, or what conversations did you have with him about just staying positive, believing that eventually you guys can get where you wanted to be?
Yeah. Listen, Pat's a perfectionist, and he's competitive. As competitive as any of us right here. I mean, it's and more so. He wants it right around him, but he's willing to teach, that's the unique part. So he's willing to share what he sees with the guys from his sight, and help the guys get into position. As long as they're willing to work, he's all in. And so that's what I saw. And the frustration is more off of feeling urgency and winning games. I mean, that's what he's all about. And so I'm not sure there was a frustration other than, hey, let's go. We're playing at the highest level in the world, and if you're going to be as good as we think we're going to be, then the error margin is like this big. So you've got to tighten it down.
Right. Andy, between the Saturday Night Live stuff and Travis' relationship with Taylor, I wonder if you've seen that has posed any particular challenge to Travis to keep out the noise this way, in ways he may not have had to deal with in the past.
Yeah, I haven't really seen it affect him anyway. You know, he kind of worked through some being banged up, and I think that week off there helped him. But I haven't seen anything with his relationship, with his off-the-field stuff, with the commercials and Saturday Night Live, all that stuff. He just goes. I think that all plays into what he is. I mean, that's just part of it. He does all that stuff real easy. So I don't think it gets him out of his personality, and he has to change it all. Yeah.
I gather from how you're saying it, that none of that ever posed any extra challenge for you this season.
No, not at all. Not at all. No. I mean, yeah, not at all.
Andy, in today's game, kind of with the interior pressure that teams try to have, how important has your center, your 2 guards been to Patrick and what he's able to accomplish or want to accomplish?
That's the shortest distance to the quarterback. So to have strength there inside is important. Be able to stay square as long as you can inside is important. That takes strength. That's important. I think it's also important that they're good communicators to the tackles. Those are new guys to the system, so they've helped encourage them along the way and help teach them too. Yeah.
Last one.
Andy, you've known John Harbaugh for a long, long time. He was already at Philly for a year when you got there. What was it about him that made you want to be on your very first staff? And did you know him at all before that?
Yeah, I knew his dad. That's what I knew, and his dad is the best. And so he was real close to Lavelle Edwards. So I did a thing at a hospital one time with the 2 of them when I was a young coach. I was kind of carrying Coach Edwards' bag, So, but I got to know him, and we were like the 3 coaches out of the whole convention that showed up at the hospital. So we spent a couple days together, and it was great. I never forgot that part. So when I met John, I'm going, man, if you're half as good as your dad, you're on. So it didn't take very long, and he is that. He's had a great mentor, and obviously both brothers are tremendous guys. Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Okay, yeah.
Patrick, Lamar Jackson just said in his Facebook, I don't like competing against you. So I'm going to ask you the same question. How do you like or not like competing against Lamar Jackson?
Yeah, no, it's challenging. The way he's able to just be a competitor and score the football, obviously, and then their entire team. I mean, it's a tall task. You got to go out there and play your best football, and if you make any mistakes, it seems like the game's going to go the other way. So we've been able to play in a couple games, not in a few years now, but I've admired watching him from afar and know that it's going to be a great challenge for us every time we go up against him.
Is there a type of challenge facing a guy like that who's at the high level this year?
Yeah, no, I mean, he's going to be the MVP for a reason. I mean, he goes out there, he leads his team, he scores, he runs, he throws, he does whatever it takes to win, and that's what the greats do. And like I said, it'll be a great challenge for our defense, but also a great challenge for our offense going against their defense. So it's going to take a full team effort if we want to find a way to get a win.
Are there parts of his game that you particularly appreciate?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that you like to see in other quarterbacks is how they improve every single year. And obviously, everybody talked about his running, but you can see how he's developed as a passer, throwing from within the pocket, arm angles, making the accurate throw in big situations and big moments. And that's what the great quarterbacks do. And he continues to get better and better every single year. And so I knew we were going to play in a lot of games like this as our career's gone on, and I'm sure this will be the first of many.
Patrick, do you ever, or have you ever over the last 5 years taken a step back just for the appreciation of the streak you're on and getting to this game every year?
Yeah, I mean, you do after the season. You're so motivated and focused on week in, week out, day in, day out, trying to find a way to get to the Super Bowl and obviously try to win it. But I do have an appreciation for where I ended up, the players that I have around me, the coaches that I have around me, and the organization that I'm in, and that we're lucky enough to be in this position. But that's stuff that you want to look at when you're done playing. So right now, I'm just focused on today and how I can get better.
As a follow-up to that, other teams have drama, right? There's some drama down in Dallas, players signing family members and all that. That never seems to happen here. Is that why do you think you guys are all on the same page where other teams maybe struggle with that? Is it Andy? Is it Clark? Is it you? Is it what? Why do we not ever see that?
Yeah, I mean, it's Coach Reid. I mean, the mindset that he comes into the building with every single day, the leadership that he has. He comes in and we're about ball. We're about having our brothers back, going in there and doing whatever we can to win, but at the same time love each other and get the best out of each other every single day on and off the field. And that's kind of the culture that I got brought into, so I can't take claim to that. That's stuff that he had going for a long time.
Patrick, just with you and Lamar, 2005 was the first NFL Conference Championship with two black quarterbacks. Last year, you with Jalen, first in the Super Bowl. Now it's going to be first AFC Championship with two black quarterbacks facing off. Just with Lamar Jackson's criticism, the quarterbacking comments, stuff like that, is that something you look at and take into account of just how some people perceive the black quarterbacks versus how they perceive you?
I think so in a little bit, but I mean, to me, there never was criticism because you just cut the tape on and watch him play. I mean, dude won MVP like his first full year starting, and he was throwing the football, he was running the football, he was doing whatever it took to win, and so I think we started to break through that mold now, and the quarterbacks that came before us kind of set that standard, and we've been able to kind of keep rising the level to hopefully even higher standards, and hopefully the kids behind us do the same. But I'm glad to see that the level that he continues to grow and get better and better. But obviously, I don't want him to play great this weekend, but I am glad to see where he's gotten to.
Patrick, Coach Reid was asked about your connection with Travis, especially in the postseason. He said it was hard to explain why you guys connect the way that you guys do. So I'm going to give you a shot at explaining it. Why is it that you guys are able to connect so successfully, especially with the playoffs?
Yeah, I think it's just at the end of the day, we want to compete. We want to go out there and win. We don't care how it's done. We don't care if we have a lot of yards, a lot of touchdowns. We just want to win. And you can see that when you hear him talk. It's about everyone's success, not just his. And I respect that. And it's kind of, like I said, he was here before I got here, so I can see that from day one I stepped in the building. And so when you have a bunch of guys that really want to win no matter what it takes, and no matter who gets the shine, that's when you get the great football teams.
One other thing related to Travis, Andy also spoke about this, that all the stuff that he's had, the SNL stuff and Taylor, almost plays into his personality. I wonder what it's been like to be around that this year and sort of for you, but also what you think it's been like for him to have that heightened attention that way.
I mean, Travis has always been Travis. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's been cool to watch for me because I mean, obviously he has all that attention, but he's just been himself the whole time. He's still Travis Kelce. He still will walk through the stadium and treat every single person like they're his best friend. And he's going to be like that in the locker room every single day. And so it hasn't been any different to me. I've come to the building, come to work every single day, and lucky enough that I have a lot of great players around me, and Travis is one of them.
Just looking back a couple months, I'm sorry, but I don't think we ever spoke with you about what it was like seeing him on Saturday Night Live and what that said about him.
No, I was. It was really cool. I was sad I didn't get to make it. I was with my best friend's girl, and that bachelor party was that weekend, and so I was groomsman in the wedding, so it'd been tough to tell him I couldn't go. But being able to watch that, I know it was a dream of his. He knows all the skits from guys that have been Saturday Night Live growing up, and he was always telling me once from like before I was even born. I'm like, Trav, I'm not the same age as you, dude. I don't know what that is. He's definitely, it was something a goal of his to just be on the show, but to be able to host it, and he crushed it, man. I mean, that's something that hopefully longer down the line, if I can keep hanging him on, that he'll be able to do more of that type of stuff after he's done playing football.
So Pat's got to go tomorrow too, guys. We'll just do the final three starting with Todd. Go, Todd.
I asked Andy about how you warded off frustration, what he did to help you work through it. He mentioned you being willing to teach and willing to work with the guys. Where does that come from, and why do you approach it that way?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just comes from the guys before me. I mean, Alex Smith is the prime example. I mean, he was playing great football at top level, and he was teaching me at the same time. And it's about just trying to make everybody better. We want to win every single week. That's just how it is in the NFL. But you're not going to. So all you can do is get better each and every week, win or loss. And the guys did that, and that's why we're sitting in this football game now. And we're going to try to do our best to try to win this game and get better for the Super Bowl after this.
Patrick, what's just the challenge? I know you guys have done this before, but the challenging process of moving on from an emotional high of a playoff win and recharging your focus to the next one.
Yeah, I've learned it just from doing it, having those experiences. But I think your ultimate goal is to get to the Super Bowl. But it takes a day-by-day process, step by step, and I've just learned you celebrate, you have those emotions, and then you come in that Monday and you wipe it all clean and you go back to game planning again, and you really want to celebrate. You hope to have that parade, and that's when you can really celebrate. And I try to keep that in the back of guys' minds. It was awesome. We won the game. We'll celebrate. We land off the plane. Now we're moving on to the next week.
Patrick, most of your life, there was one franchise above all that dominated the NFL, the Patriots. And, I think you've referred to it a couple times, having Patriot fatigue. They're always there, right? Well, you've started on the path of the replacement team. I wonder if you relish that, and how you feel about that, and what's out there.
Yeah, I mean, we still got a long ways to go. I mean, they did it for 20 years, and so all we can do is take it year in, year out, week in, week out, and every single day. I mean, it's something that that's the long goal, is to win that many championships and bring those titles to this organization. But all we can do is focus on the Ravens this week, and that's what we're trying to do.
Thanks, Patrick.
And I wonder if you look back first, how crazy was the win in that game with Buffalo? You had a kick that kicked all the way through the end zone. You couldn't make it all the way. Just what was the win like for you guys?
Yeah, it was tough. I guess the wind wasn't super intense. I think the game against the Dolphins, the wind was higher, but the Bills Stadium is definitely lower. So that wind was coming like from the west, I think. And because their stadium's so low, we were experiencing all of that wind, whereas if you have a stadium like Arrowhead or a bigger stadium, the wind's coming from way up high and then it's dipping down, it's kind of swirling more. So I haven't played a game where there was wind like that hard one direction in a while, but I think it was kind of because of the configuration of the stadium. But, it was tough going that direction. I think Tony Romo mentioned that I missed from like 51 or 52 short in warm up. Like we were both struggling, Tyler Bass and myself. but our range going that direction was a 48-yarder, so 47. It was just enough, and you can see on the network broadcast, I'm checking to see if it went over the crossbar, but it did.
Yeah, Harrison, that first field goal going that way, you're usually the first guy to know whether it's going through, but it looked like you didn't know until the referee raised his arms. Was that the case?
No, definitely, because I was concerned about the distance, and it was kind of tailing a little left. And I guess my main concern was, is it going to make it that far? And then also because the ball's dying with its velocity, so early in the kick, is it going to just completely cut left and go left? And yeah, thankfully it didn't, but I wanted to make sure the referees put both arms up.
How much have you admired Justin Tucker over the course of your career? You guys have been kind of right there, back and forth, battling.
Right.
He's the best kicker in the league, but how much have you admired him to see him?
Yeah, so, I think Tucker's on year 12, I'm on year 7, so he's got, fact check me, he's got more years than I do, but I remember when I was in college at least, just on YouTube, and I guess probably even senior year of high school, going on YouTube and seeing his, he posted one workout where he's in his Texas, clothes out in their stadium, and he's just, hitting 10 kicks in a row, moving the tripod around and just watching his form, and then seeing, when he replaced Billy Cundiff for the Ravens and how he came in as a rookie free agent guy and really made, a big difference for their team. And I don't know what the career field goal percentage was when he came in the league, probably, around 86 or so. And then boom, he's at 90 plus and he's stayed there for such a long career, no injuries. He makes it look effortless, and I think he's really kind of changed the kicking game and pushed it forward, which is great. So now all of us young kickers, we have someone we can look to and say, it is possible to make these 65-yard field goals and make these big game-winning kicks. But it is cool to see a kicker that's kind of an artist, and he dances after, and he just does a lot of stuff that's very different than most other kickers. But yeah, he's done an amazing job in his career.
Like quarterbacks don't play each other on the field at the same time. Would you like that the opportunity to go against him in a game that may come down to the games?
Every time I feel like we play the Ravens, people will talk about Tucker, and I think the best thing for me to do is just focus on, my warm-up and doing the best I can to prepare myself for the game, and then when the game comes, just focus again on me and making whatever opportunities come my way. But almost as a fan of Tucker and of kicking, I'm going to want to watch him, but I've learned, all right, I can't do that. I just got to focus on what I'm doing, and then after the game, be able to talk with him and pick his brain.
Being a fan of kicking, did you reach out to Tyler Bass and express any support?
No, I actually didn't reach out to him at all. It was unfortunate. I'm just trying to give him some time away, probably to clear his head from kicking and kind of enjoy the off season a little bit. But I'll probably text him later on this off season. He's a guy that went to Georgia Southern, so I kicked with him in the off seasons, him and Younghoe Koo, and he's a great kicker, and I really think he does a great job. But just giving him a little space right now, and it's tough because as a kicker, you're going to have games like that where you miss a kick, and ideally it's not in a big game, but you can prepare and do everything you can. But sometimes the cards just don't fall in your favor, and that's why it's so important to remain humble, because it can happen to any of us.
Harrison, this season, you've been so consistent, such a long haul, and I wonder if it's talking about the mental game. Is there anything particular this season that has enhanced your focus or made you stronger, made you better than ever? What would that be?
I think it's a lot of different things that have helped. I think physically I'm feeling really good. I'm prioritizing sleep. Family life is going really well with my wife and children. I think there's a lot of balance when I come into the facilities, and when I'm here I'm able to attack and do my best. And I feel like that's just helped me be consistent. I'd say I think on game day I've done a really good job of staying locked in and focused on what I can control and not worrying about anything else. But also, I say this a lot, I can do everything to prepare for the game throughout the week, throughout the off season, but when I go out there, it really does feel like, God can make that ball go in, or he can make it not go in. So the difference between having a season where you're 94% and maybe or 84% is just a couple of misses, and it could be just some freak things that cause the ball to go in or don't go in. And I'm very thankful to have made all of those kicks. And again, I don't think it's all me. There's definitely something else that's helping.
Last one.
Do
do you pay attention to the weather reports? Do you worry because they change day to day? For instance, they're saying it may rain or it may not. Do you follow that stuff at all during the week?
Definitely. I think as a kicker, your competition is kind of the surface you're playing on and the weather. So things I look at are, is it going to be sunny? And then if it's going to be sunny, what's the stadium configuration? Because you need to know where the shadows are going to be. That's something that's always affected me, especially if the holder, maybe his shadow is causing where the ball's going to go to be really dark. So you know when the ball gets put down, I'm not going to be able to see it. Or the holder could put the ball down and you can see the ball, and then your shadow goes over the spot and then the ball turns dark right before you make contact. Obviously, if it's raining, you need to make sure you have good cleats that you can wear. And then wind as well. You need to know, okay, if this is going to be a day where it's going to be a lot of right to left, I need to make sure I'm working with my holder on, for me at least, for leaning the ball away from me towards him. If it's left to right, obviously it needs to be straight up and down. You got to work on starting to left. But you just try to make sure you're prepared, so you've won the game before you even begin, and there's no surprises when you get to the stadium. You know, okay, the wind's going to do this, shadows, rain or shine, you're kind of ready, and I think that helps keep you calm no matter what the situation is.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, thank you.
Ghosts, shadows.
We got about 5 minutes.
Justin, you've had perspective on the Patrick Travis combination from different vantage points across the field and playing with them. I just wonder what it was like when you did go against them, but also what it's like to see now.
I'll tell you what, it's a hell of a lot more fun to play with them than it is to play against them. That's first and foremost. When I was with Houston, we played against Travis. It's just a tough matchup because those guys are both so cerebral and smart, played a lot of football, and their chemistry is at a level that they're able to create their own routes, so it's almost impossible to defend. You know, you're planning on what you see on tape, and then you get to the game, you see the same formation, he does something different based off of what he sees, and they're on the same page that they're able to get the ball to each other. So truly a dynamic and special relationship that those two have, both on the field and off the field. And like I said, it's a lot more fun to be on this side of it than be the guy defending it.
These are the tough matchups. You guys just faced a running quarterback who was a big challenge. I know you got him in the ribs on one of them, but how different is Lamar, and how do you have to adjust?
Yeah, all of them.
Eyes are your discipline.
All of them are unique. I mean, Lamar's athleticism is second to none. His strength, his power, the way that he's able to run the ball, his speed to get around the edge and get north and south. All of those things are a big challenge for us that we're going to have our P's and Q's knocked out on. Try and contain him in the pocket as much as we can and make sure that we get him on the ground those times that he does run. He can still make all the throws like everybody else. I mean, you get to this level in football, all the games are at the highest level that you can possibly be. You got superstar quarterbacks, you got superstar tight ends, you got skill talent across the board, offensive lines are all physical and aggressive, defenses are good. But this is exactly what we want as competitors. So that's a well-coached football team over there. And we're going to need to go match that and dominate in a hostile environment.
Justin, you played against Lamar in Baltimore with Houston before. You haven't played him with the Chiefs. What were your memories of those games early on in your career?
Yeah, one is just the physical nature of the way that they play. They kind of were trying to wear down defenses. They run the ball, and a lot of teams are able to match that in the first half. And then they come out in the second half, and then, you know, they start to beat down on them, and that's when they really start having success and start running the ball down people's throats. So the biggest thing is to have that intensity and run discipline the entire game, not just when everybody's juiced up in the first half, but to come out at halftime and have that same level of intensity and want to will to tackle, will to take on blocks, will to be physical the second half through however long it takes to finish the game. So I think that would be a major key for us, is to maintain that discipline and physicality the entire length of the game.
Justin, what's been the success?
We got 2 more.
Justin, what's been the success for you guys in the second half? The last 7 games, you won the teams to 7 points max. What has it been about the adjustments you guys have made?
Yeah, that's the Spagnuolo effect.
You know, we make adjustments at halftime. We have the players that's able to take in those adjustments, and some of the things that we put in, we don't even practice throughout the week, but it's just based on what we've seen and what we've been getting throughout the day. And we put it in, we go out and execute, and good things tend to happen. We believe in him wholeheartedly. He believes in us, and we believe in each other. Nobody goes out and tries to play hero ball. We just play the defense, play our responsibility with intensity and a little bit of violence, and good things happen.
It sounds like Mark Andrews is going to be back for this game. What's that challenge like, especially considering there's no recent tape necessarily to look at?
Yeah, but another guy who's savvy, been in the league a while, runs really good routes, great hands, big red zone target, and that'll be major for him to get him back. I think they'll be able to run a lot more 12 personnel with him and Isiah Likely, who's really been able to shine in Mark Andrews' absence. So I think that'll be dynamic for him to get both of them back, and we're going to have a game plan for both of them.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, going through. Reid, what does Isiah Pacheco do for you, particularly in playoff games where physicality is of the utmost importance?
Yeah, that's it. Just his physicality plays with, the intensity he plays with. That's the kind of stuff you need during playoff football. So he does a really good job with it.
Do you have a sense of how the room feels about Nick Allegretti when it comes to just confidence levels?
Yeah, Allegretti's a great player. He's been around for a long time, a ton of great experience. He's played in huge games before, and whoever's up this week is going to do a great job.
You've had some troubles on some of the snaps, some low snaps. What do you do to try to correct that? Is it go off to the side? Does Pat go with you? Do you just fire a couple at him? How do you try to correct that?
Yeah, just like you said, get extra snaps in during the week, things like that, and just kind of move on to the next play.
Have you seen Joe in rehab before? Because he's very durable. He's kind of an Iron Man-like guy. What do you say about his type of rehab and making sure that he could be ready for Sunday?
Ravens defensive front and what they're going to pose.
Yeah, they're a great defensive front. They have a great defense, really physical, really aggressive, and it'll be a tough challenge for us. But we're excited about it, and we're ready to get rolling.
Is Mahomes as good a nose tackle as you've seen on film?
Yeah, he's really talented, really athletic, really strong, great with his hands. So he's a really good player.
Okay, thanks, Reid.
Glad to rush yesterday. What will be done to see that those I was watching. The way he played it wasn't didn't even bother us,
Also, Reid, you know what Justin is? The other thing is, I don't think Justin minds today.
No, Justin
he's fine with it.
The best he came in the spot. Yeah, sure. Just off the cuff. Are you want to get ready for that? Sam predicts Sun to come up with
Has he shown up before 12:50 on any of them?
White man today, feel a little
12:47. 47 was the.
He was open. That's
So we were.
All right, guys, fire away.
Isiah, a lot of people have said your running style, and some people said that you fight the grass, and there's been a lot of. The council said that. Which one have you seen that you say, hey, yeah, I think you're right on with that running style of mine?
I'll say the funniest one that I thought was they said I run like I bite people. Like I ain't no zombie. Like that was crazy. Like so that was one of the funniest ones. You said I run like I bite the ground, bite the grass. Yeah, that's crazy. So it's a great opinion, I guess, to have on the way I run. For me, it's just being determined and understanding that I have a goal to achieve and we want to get the job done.
Are you angry when you're out there running?
Absolutely. Just through everything, that's been in front of you, understanding the week has been a long process of the week, and, just being prepared, understanding the scheme and willing to do whatever you got to do to get the job done is leaving it all out there in the field with no regrets.
Isiah, it sounds like they're backing off you today. Just how are you feeling health-wise? You think you'll be okay to go on Sunday?
Yeah, absolutely. Working with the training room, just doing a great job in there. And just blessed to be a part of it and just continue to get better every day.
So what's the last, the 2-minute situation where you're not getting first down? Can you kind of take me through your mindset and just how much you appreciate?
Yes, just knowing that situation is extremely important. You only get those situations in practice, and when you rep it, when it comes in the game and it happens, it's like secondhand nature. And for us, just understanding the scheme and understanding we did that in practice before, that's the mindset of me getting the first down and having the O-line finish on that play.
Is there certain enjoyment in those situations even before it started?
Yeah, definitely. There's a big enjoyment. You win the game right there. It's all said and done. You don't have to send the defense back out there to get a punt or just to have them back out there. It eliminates that part of the game, and it's a big one for us.
You talk about the end of the game. Someone just asked you about. I think you were mic'd up, and they showed a clip where you were telling Trav, "All right, big bro, I got you." How much do you, or I think it was Patrick, how much do you look to those guys in game for just in different situations?
I look to them in every game. They've been in the situation. They've been here. They've done that. They know this game, man. For me, I've been here 1 year, and I've been a part of it. It's been a long 1 year. So for me, understanding that I've been in those shoes, been there, just getting that second opinion from those guys, hearing them, is going to keep me going even more.
Isiah, you're talking about senior.
There's a lot of talk about the Bengals game. Sorry, a lot of talk in the Bengals game about maybe the offense getting simplified a little bit, or you guys have really seemed to kind of pick it up a notch since then. What kind of changed, and how did it make it easier for you?
I'll say the intensity changed. It's the grit. You could see the guys, the eyes in the huddle, and the way they bite their mouthpieces down from the start of practice. When it's group install, it's not just group install. It's the beginning of practice, beginning of the game. That's the mindset we had to have, because when it's set and it's all said and done, when the ball snaps, it's over.
A lot of people have been talking about the way you guys were treated in Buffalo by the fans. Can you talk about them throwing snowballs and that fire you guys up?
Now, we appreciate them throwing snowballs. That was fun. I got some dodging skills off of that. It's cool though. It comes with the game. When you love competing in that environment, you gotta love that. And going there with one goal and coming out with the goal that you went there with, it feels amazing.
Have you made strides as a pass protection in the last couple of years, and what other areas do you think you got this?
Absolutely. Understanding the scheme, being in that classroom, taking notes daily, day by day, and being the guy that's going to be the last defense.
How much does Jarek help you with that? Because he's always kind of been a legendary guy.
Yes, he's been in the room still to this day, and you guys might not see him out as much on the field, but he's still in the building, still coming in, showing support, and he's with us through it all.
What about last year's postseason run sort of better informed you about how to manage your body over the course of the season when you're hoping to do it again?
Like I said, it's the longest season last year of my career, so understanding now it's the second year. There was no off season for me last year. I had surgery. So it's been an ongoing work. So for me to understand that, got the routine down pat and just continue to listen to the leaders, take care of my body, and understand the goal we have.
Something you've added to the routine at all?
Say again?
Something you've added to the routine, going from year 1 to year 2 to stay as healthy as possible?
Absolutely. Just staying longer in the building, being one of the last guys to leave the building.
Isaiah, I can't quite see the shirt. Is that you on the shirt?
Oh, yes.
Can you sell those? What's the deal there? One off?
One of my friends made it. It's 10. We're going to rep it.
You guys went to, you talked about going to Buffalo, hostile environment, going to another spot in Baltimore. How much do you guys embrace that building, bro?
It's important to us, man. It means so much when you have to go in another hostile environment with just a 53-man roster. Understanding is y'all against the city, and when you come out successful, it means a lot and it shows how hard we've been working.
That's what I'm saying. Patrick mentioned just about turning the attention on Monday to this next week. Does he relay that message to you guys? Like, is he vocal about?
Yeah, absolutely. That message relayed from the end of that game on last week, which was Sunday. Pat already said that week's over. Now, Coach Reid just said it as well. Can celebrate, but not too hard. It's time to get to work.
Okay, thanks, Bob.
We're going to have to be quick. Thanks, guys.
Hi. Chris, I know it's not your side of the ball, but I wonder if over the years you've developed an appreciation for what Patrick and Travis can do together.
Absolutely not. No, just playing. I think it's more so a collective effort. Offense over the years I've been here, which is 8 years, has been remarkable. I've saved us a lot of games. I've won us a lot of games. And it's defense as well. Sometimes defense gets overlooked because of how outstanding our offense has been over the years. But if you take it down in the playoff the last 4 to 5 years, I think defense has played a significant part in it. So as well as Patrick has been, you got to give kudos to the defense and the Spags.
Let's go to Sterling.
How challenging is Lamar Jackson? You faced him before. What do you have to be mindful of in trying to stop
He's an MVP caliber quarterback. He has a good chance of winning MVP this year. That just shows you how dynamic as a player he is. And that defense is one of the best defense in the league. I think overall as a team, they're one of the best teams in the league. They've showed that throughout the year on how competitive they are against the better teams in the league. Look at a team like San Fran. Look at a team what they did to Miami, and they've been showing that type of dominance throughout this year. So it's going to be tough. It's a challenge, but I'm excited for it.
Chris, how much have you really kind of relished in the mental side of your approach up front in terms of playing games with offensive linemen, moving, setting things up, and where are you now compared to maybe a couple of years ago in terms of using that to your advantage?
I think it's a weekend thing. Every game has its challenges, its mental challenges that you have to face, and also the physical aspect. You got the finesse teams, you got the downhill running teams, and then you got the Baltimore Ravens, who can do a little bit of both. They can run the ball, they can pass it on the outside, but they also got a dominant offensive line who can just run the ball. So I think it's a great challenge ahead of us. I think we'll watch a little more film and see what we can do.
Chris, what's just the appreciation level for like you've been in this game here for 6 straight years?
I think it's just goes to show the dedication with the guys in this organization from top to bottom, whether it's the coaches, whether it's the players. I don't think individuals can get you this far in this league. It takes a team collective effort, and I think it's a lot of dedication, a lot of support, and a lot of unselfishness amongst that, and a lot of commitment from guys, from the practice squad guys, from your role players to your leaders, and with that, a little luck. And
Chris, it seems like you had some good interaction with the fans in Buffalo. How much did you enjoy the opportunity to go on the road in the postseason with Patrick?
It was amazing. Barbell Tavern in Buffalo were amazing. Treated me like family. Got the honey butter Cajun barbecue wings. The fans were outstanding. They opened their arms to me, treated me with gratitude, and I love them. Y'all have a beautiful day.
All right, guys. Practice today is indoors, so for local media only, and then our usuals. We'll do practice. It's a quick period. These next few days are actually all quick days. So we'll see you over there. 1:20 is when we start. We'll meet you in the lobby this time, not the media room. We'll meet in the lobby.
Red, say the time again.
1:20. 1:20.